Welcome back and now tune into the other side of sports. This is your host, Laws in the building. We got Aaron. D gonna come on, he gonna rock with us at some point. Got a lot of stuff to talk about today. It's been busy in the NFL, it's been busy in the NBA. But before we get into that, I gotta Aaron, you know me, I'm a man who can admit when he wrong, dog. I can stand up. I can say, you know what? I said this and I was completely wrong. Dog, Jake Paul will punish me, dog. I just gonna just keep it all the way 100. Jake Paul, he'll punish me, dog. The Bama beat up Anderson Silva, dog. I know Silva 50 years old, but still. He put paws on him and made him go to a knee and say a prayer, dog. At this point, dog, I mean, my hands, I ain't even, dog, my hands ain't been tuned up or sharpened up in like about 5 years, dog. I don't even think 6 months. Other day I try to run up the block, my chest start hurting, dog. I just it's nothing I can say, dog. I was just gassing out the window, jumping out the window a couple months ago when I said I could punish Jake Paul. He didn't want to see me with the hands and stuff like that. You know, I can put my pride aside, though. Unlike other people like Kanye and some of them, put my pride aside, though. He could whoop me. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? Real talk, there's somebody out there can whoop everybody. So it just, it's all part of the game, dog. It's all part of the game. Jake Paul, shake your hand. You got it, bro. You got it. I don't want no smoke with you. He out here putting down ex UFC fighters and everything, though. So you got it, Jake. You got it. Uh, on to some sports. I do. Well, I'm gonna bring back the question of the day. We'll have a question next week or at least on the next podcast. Don't worry, I got you. I know y'all like, yeah, where the question at? Don't do the question no more. We got the question. I got the questions for you. Um, but we gonna get to it, especially when it's a slow news cycle. Then we can get to all that. Today there was a lot of moves that was made. Do we want to start in the basketball first? Because I feel like Steve Nash being fired, we done told you he was some sauce, money, get him out of here
The
from
day
the
he was hired.
beginning. Soon as he came in as the head coach, I don't care if Kevin Durant, shout out my man Omar. He like, well, Kevin Durant, he gave him the nod. He endorsed him to be in it. I don't care. You shouldn't be listening to players anyway. He was not qualified. Bottom line. And he showed you he wasn't qualified. Losses they got swept. When in the history of the NBA has a team had two top five scores on the same team and get swept in the playoffs, dog? I don't think it's ever happened. I don't think it's ever happened, bro. So to me, it was always coaching was the biggest problem. You can say what you want about Flat Earth Kyrie and all of that. Like, y'all don't know basketball. We talking basketball, he was not qualified. Period. Uh, but in smooth fashion, they about to turn some lemons into some lemonade, Aaron.
They just hit the jackpot.
Ime Udoka about to be the head coach of the Nets. This man done fandangle out of Celtics into arguably one of the top five coveted coaching positions in the NBA. Say what you want. See, the people who are going to sit here and say, well, Kyrie, dog, you want that headache, dog? Kyrie, he always, making the anti-Semitic comments and stuff. First of all, he didn't make anti-Semitic comments. He promoted a video that I don't even know if them Bama's watched the video, dog. They just saw it was stuff in it. And, of course, they going to pull whatever they can pull to get him up out of there or cause controversy. What Ime Udoka ain't gonna have them problems, dog.
You just got to watch your wives around them if you work in the facility. Outside of that, the X's and O's and the coaching part he got on lock. They basically just
No,
lucked into an A+ coach.
A plus coach of Break City. I don't even know the what you call it. Didn't even ask for any stuff out of the deal.
Because I
They ain't
think
even
they were
ask.
just happy to get out of that situation because they didn't have we talked about there not being a resolution of being able to go from Alabama sitting out a year back to the head coach. And this really comes down to them. See, in most sports situations, the team gonna go with whoever's more important. The director of finance is not more important than the head coach of your team. When you got a squad like that with a chance to win a championship.
There was relationships there with that one.
Yeah,
You
so it's
already know.
a mad white man's ego won, and so that means Brooklyn won because they wouldn't have been able to get a coach of this caliber without plucking an old head out of retirement. You talk about Phil Jackson or you know what I mean, Pat Riley. You gonna have to go pluck somebody from the '80s or '90s out of retirement. You're not gonna be able to just mid-season just jump to an A+ coach from what you had. It was probably a C- D coach in Steve Nash.
Dog, I think first of all, if I'm any team in the NBA outside of maybe maybe San Antonio, Greg Popovich on his way out, so
Yeah.
maybe you put them
Other
in
than
there
Golden
too.
State, I
Other
think
than
you
Golden
take him
State,
over.
that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
You picking him over any other coach in the NBA outside of Golden
Maybe
State.
Spolstra, maybe.
Maybe
But
Spoelstra.
other
But
than
I
that, yeah.
mean, I might even roll the dice with that one too. I mean, yeah, that's a game changer. And you're gonna see the change immediately when he comes in here. You might even see it tonight. They done got the Bama up out of there. You might even see these Bamas.
This move quick too. This move, what I honestly believe happened. They put the feelers out to see if Boston would be willing to part ways with Udoka before they fired Nash, because the Nets won last night. So I understand they 2-5, but it just sit like the timing was just like maybe Boston was like, you know what, go ahead and get this because they wanted him out of the organization as well. I believe. I believe
Yeah.
they wanted him to accept the resignation so they wouldn't have to pay him or just to step down. And so when he didn't do that, he basically created an awkward situation for everybody because he didn't want to let that money go. So he just
He
going,
like,
you know
y'all
what I mean,
gonna
take
pay
them
me.
checks and
Yeah.
then they figure out the rest later. And so this is apparently later where the team comes calling and you basically instantly go from sitting on suspension, making half your salary to back in the fold, back in the mix, looking at trying to win a
And you got
championship
a
this year,
squad.
a, a squad.
You
If
got a
he can work out the
squad.
kinks with Ben Simmons, dog, if he can figure that
Dog,
joke out,
young, y'all gotta do an intervention for Ben Simmons, young. You gotta bring him to the church. Y'all gotta put the chairs in a round table, sit him in the middle.
but
Bama's
Nash
gotta
would
lay
have
hands, put
never.
oil on his forehead, stuff. Like he
Nash is
needs something.
Canadian, dog. He would have never been able to connect. It's like certain situations, it's going to take one of our own, dog, or at least somebody within the
That
culture to be
understand
able
that yeah,
to know what to say to the Bama, to know what to do to try to get
right.
the most
That's
out of
why
him.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. With Kyrie, ain't gonna be no issue.
And you got another light skin there, so Ben Simmons, dog, that might be the cheat code. You might get him back to his
So
peak.
if we could listen, if the Bama get Ben Simmons to give you 15, 10, and 6 and get you back to Ben Simmons, right? And he able to like remove all them cobwebs in his brain cells and get him back motivated to play, bro. This he might be the coach of the year off break just on that alone. Cause dog, Ben Simmons looked disinterested in basketball. Like he rather do arts and crafts in the corner than be on the court playing basketball. That's how he looked. So if you can extract him to be back playing at a mid level, not even high, mid. He look out of shape too to me. Just personally, like looking at it, he don't look fast. He don't look, he just look dopey. So
I haven't seen Boston play this year. I mean, not Boston,
this
Brooklyn play this year
Brooklyn.
yet. So I haven't been able to kind of like see what everybody else is saying. I think Cameron had comments for the Bama, and everybody acting like it's just something extra going on, like he fleecing the league. But I haven't
Dog,
got to
he
see it with my
trotting.
own eyes.
He trotting up the court. you know, he the Batman won't even look at the basket. He don't look at the basket, Aaron. All he do is look at himself. D joined us in here. Welcome to the fold, D.
What's up? What's good with
I
y'all,
know my
man?
man was having technical difficulties.
I ain't lying. Had to put my skills to use.
We in here discussing this Ime Adoka to Brooklyn Nets and how it's a power move and rags the riches. D, is he primed to get the chip with the Brooklyn Nets?
I don't know if they do they have the roster for it though?
They got a roster though.
Because I guess my big thing is like KD's doing his thing.
Hmm.
What's his name's doing his thing. So now you need to have the up. So where's they don't have that Harden no more. So who's gonna be that third option? Is it gonna be Steph's brother? What's his name? Seth Curry.
Seth.
Is
Hmm.
he going when he comes back? Is he going to be that third scoring
They
option? He
got
can.
Joe Harris is back now.
I
I
mean
know
that
he's kind of getting he's slowly coming back, but Joe Harris is back. Um, you do got Kyrie and Durant. You got
They got T.J. Warren.
Claxton. They got TJ Warren on their roster. That he's a baller.
I mean, they got players. It's just a matter of are they going to get on the court? Because I think like Seth, he's not obviously his brother, but the Bama can shoot the lights out the gym. And I think when you spread the floor with who they got at scoring, that's just going to make it easier for those other guys, the two top guys, to score.
Yeah, so they made a move for Royce O'Neal.
Mm-hmm.
That Bama just what do you call it? Not even a journeyman, just a Bama who just
Just a body.
do dirty work body type Bama.
Yeah,
Okay, you got him. TJ Warren, if they can extract him, if he can come in and start contributing, I think that's a legitimate score you add to the fold. They got Markeith Morris, the Morris brothers on their roster. Um,
that's that grit right there. Okay,
yeah, you got. I mean, they got Patty Mills. He can play. He can shoot.
They got enough where they shouldn't be 2-5.
Exactly. That's a fact. They
for
do got
sure.
enough.
That's for
They
sure.
got enough. Now, is it enough to win the chip? I mean, dog, you
Mm-mm.
got two prolific scores. You giving yourself a chance, I tell you at the very least.
For sure. For sure. Some teams
So
only got one, so yeah, for sure. But the two they have two is like two of the top two, not just two vicious guys. Like these are the
yeah,
top of the whole entire NBA at their positions.
yeah, nah, facts. Facts. In the NFL, it was a lot of movement.
Mm,
Trades happening at the trade deadline. The Bears, they picked up Claypool from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
mm.
Um, that I think that was a good move. The Bears sent Roquan Smith to the Ravens.
That hurt my feelings, dog. We
Why it
was
hurt
just
your
talking
feelings,
about
Aaron?
this in D's basement the day before. I
Yeah.
was saying Washington need to make the call, even if they give up a one.
Right.
They need to make that call. But I didn't think Chicago would take a one for them. But they took a two, which tells me Washington probably didn't even make the call because they're not going to do anything but whiff on the pick anyway.
And you know they're gonna be picking 15th, messing with Taylor Heineke, throwing 50-50 balls in the sky.
But getting W's.
D, let's just be honest. To all y'all Washington Commanders fans out there, you really think Taylor Heineke can get you to a Super Bowl or win a playoff game?
Playoff game, yes. Super Bowl, no.
You think Taylor Heineke can win a playoff game? I
Yeah.
don't. I
Who we beat in
don't.
the playoffs, Steve?
Well, it depends who goes.
All right, here we go. Can he beat
uh,
y'all in a playoff game?
Yes, I believe they can beat the
yeah,
Giants
he can
because
beat us.
Daniel Jones is trash too.
Yeah,
So
brother. Okay, they twins. All right, cut them off. Can they beat Philly?
No,
hell
come
no.
on. Nobody can beat Philly except for
Can't
us.
beat Dallas.
Can't beat Dallas.
Can't beat Minnesota. They're gonna get a chance this year. Won't beat them.
What about Seattle?
No.
Hell no. Gino put numbers up. You can't go in there and get 17 points and squeak out with a win. Gino putting up numbers.
No. Who else in the NFC?
That could make the playoffs. I'm trying to think here because Atlanta maybe because
They
I
can
don't
beat
know.
Atlanta.
I don't know
I
who
don't
else
know
would
if
be out there.
Atlanta.
Will even make it, but I'm just saying because that division is not good either. So who knows who's going to come from that division? That's similar to what our division was
I
when
just, I
Washington
just,
won it
I just need the fool's gold to stop, dog. Like Taylor
I,
Heineke. Let me tell you what Taylor Heineke is, dog. Taylor
enlighten me.
Heineke is a
A Suzu Trooper.
su-
That's what he is.
he's
Hey
Sus.
dog, I ain't seen them joints in a minute.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Them just ain't even on the road, dog. This Batman told they called him a Saturn, dog. This Batman they don't even make the cars no more. Yeah,
Discontinued.
he had truck, dog. He had Jeep Cherokee, dog. Like he like all right, like he could get you from point A to point B. You could probably go off road and ride with the Batman. You know what I'm saying? But like at some point, you gonna have engine issues. You gonna have to take that jump to get services. It's gonna cost you $1,500 to keep it on the road, dog. It just
But you know how the fan base is. That's the most amazing 17 points they ever seen in their life. So it's like
Exactly.
when RG3
Yep.
was going out there putting up 24, 27,
That
but they
don't
didn't
matter.
like him, it didn't matter. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yep.
But they just like him because one, he's MAGA, so you know Northern Virginia going to ride for the Bama, and then two, the way he presents himself, like he's just their kind of guy, and
Yeah.
his teammates seem to like him, the coaches seem to like him. So that's just something you're gonna have to deal with on the team. The part that is illogical and that humors me and why I enjoy rooting against DC in general is
mm,
because the fans are idiots, and so they're rooting against the thing that would give them the best chance to be good in the future. The,
mm,
I've said for 20 years the reason that the team is so terrible and can't get better is because they like that 7-9, 6-10. They would rather win meaningless games just to be able to argue with Dallas and Philly fans versus do what actually teams that turn it around do, which is be bad and draft top picks. Draft those quarterbacks that are going to be around for 10, 15 years. Draft those elite players
Bengals, Browns.
instead of swinging on Jamin Davis and other mid-round picks because they're not good at evaluating, not good enough to have a steal in the middle of the first round. They need guys that are consistent, guarantee locks at the top of the draft. Like
They
if they
used
have
to
to
have
make a
that.
decision, then oh, Kyle Smith, but they sent him away because Ron wanted more Carolina guys up here. So it's just like the fans are idiots. You're gonna get a lesser draft pick. You're gonna have a harder schedule next year. It's like they don't go. You have to go through the process. You can't skip steps. You don't have anybody in the organization good enough to skip steps to evaluate and snag a talent here for them to choose Washington over another place. You can't really pay players more now because the salary cap and the parity. A guy has to choose to want to play for your team, generally speaking. You can't pay a guy 20, 30 million more than the next team um, would do in the NFL. It just that model doesn't work. So the fans are idiots and they're rooting for their own demise. And you have a flailing head coach who you know is not going to lead you to a Super Bowl, but he's trying to win games to save his job and save his career and his reputation. And everybody's rooting for the exact thing that's going to keep you mediocre. So while they're pointing their fingers at Dan, these idiots are the real reason that this stuff is going on because they're allowing this stuff to take place. They're rooting for it to take place. You should be
So
rooting for this team to lose every week if you want to get good in the
the,
next 10 years.
don't you think the GM needs to go too though? It's not just Ron. You know what I mean? Like,
But he hired the GM. Ron's in charge of all football operations now.
All football.
uh,
It's
unfortunate.
So Ron
Ron gotta
fired the
go.
GM and then brought in his guy from Carolina.
Okay.
And then he brought in the black guy from San Francisco, who I think also was his guy. Um,
Mhm.
so they, you just create this. It's like
Right.
what they call it, self fulfilling prophecy, dog. Where it just
Mhm.
keep going in the cycle of why are we so bad, and then you root for the exact thing that makes you terrible, or at least prevents you from getting to that point. Because at least Dallas can retool. Like their quarterback goes out, they win 3, 4 games, and then they back it winning 12, 11 games
Mhm.
a year. And Washington always they never get to 11, 12 wins, but they also never stick around at the 1, 2, 3 win seasons, and then they wonder why they can't get better. Like the league is set up for you to be bad to get better.
And that's the thing with Dallas. Their team is built on they know how to draft.
Exactly.
They're loaded with talent. where even though they have really bad head coaches, and despite them always going to the playoffs and not going beyond that, whereas Washington doesn't even have a good draft evaluator and they don't have a good head coach. So now you're stuck with not having either.
Trash. That's what we stuck with. Trash.
And what you gotta do with trash?
Take it
Throw
out
it away.
That's
or
it.
burn it.
Dog.
No, other trades. Chubb to the Dolphins.
That's a smooth move for them.
Yes, it is. That's a
Smooth
major
move.
move for them.
That helps that defense out even more. Gives it a yeah.
They trying to take over that division, man.
Dog, this is
Buffalo.
this just me, or is this season like more like there's more movement and activity than we've seen in recent years with like teams really like taking an approach to make their teams better. Did the Rams start this off? Because like I feel like teams are like, oh, this guy available, let's try and get him. I mean, we saw with the Eagles last week when they got what do you call it from the Bears
Mm-hmm.
to add to their pass rush. They just looking for anybody disgruntled. Why is the Washington Commanders not trying to shop uh these pieces on this team, especially the ones they're underutilizing? You're not even using
Well, they
Antonio
traded William
Gibson.
Jackson. They did trade him after they devalued him for a late round
Mhm.
draft pick. And to answer your first question, I think that answers because there's no dominant teams in the league the way there was when you had like the Tampa Bay with that loaded roster, or you had the Rams with that loaded roster. They looking like trash. So I think a lot more teams this year feel like they have a chance to win if they can get hot. Like the Bengals look like ass a lot of times. Um, and part of that is because they got hot and healthy at the right time last year and were able to make it to the Super Bowl. So I think a lot of teams see the formula is to like we got a shot this year. If we can stay healthy, get enough pieces to close up any glaring holes we have, then if we're healthy at the right time of year, at the end of the year, there's a chance.
Mhm.
It's as much
Yeah,
luck as it is anything else when it comes to this.
That's a fact.
and that's true because players get injured and injuries because of the game, the way that's played, and also too, I think a lot of these old head coaches and GMs, if you don't get somebody new with a different state of mind of how they believe the league is going, if you get someone like a dinosaur,
With a 1975 mindset,
bruh, you're never gonna get
we
out of
got
that.
one.
Right. So that's the problem. And so these other GMs, that's why you see them the ones making the moves, doing the trades.
Chubb, Chubb to the Dolphins. That's a young man move.
Yeah.
Bears get Claypool. They trying to get him something. They like, young, this Batman need weapons. We just like we got to make a move. Vikings
Claypool
add
and Claypool
TJ
going, hey,
Hawkins.
oh yeah, I saw that they added Hawkinson, the guy that just
Yeah.
got drafted. They gave up a lot. I mean, they got a
I don't
lot
know
to get.
why. I don't know why they gave up. I thought Irv Smith Jr. was pretty solid. But I
I thought
guess
so
I
too.
mean TJ Hawkins, I guess he could just a little more, can do a little more. Especially, I mean, you got a new guy that's running the offense, so maybe he sees like, oh, if I get this guy, I can do two tight end sets and do a little bit more. I mean, I don't know, but Jags go ahead and take a gamble and trade for Stephen Ridley, Calvin Ridley. I'm sorry. Um,
I wouldn't do it.
he's suspended for why wouldn't you do it, D? He
Cause
was
the Bama.
productive when he was playing.
Yeah, but not to where he got drafted at though. And then, you know what I'm saying? And then he's always hurt. So what am I gonna do with that? Always hurt, an
Well, he should
underperforming
come
player.
back fresh after betting on games and sitting out the year. So I
We'll
mean,
see with him. But
yeah, but
I think these teams need to get a new mindset in terms of I need to have a way that a new form in which you draft and run a team. You got to get, but this the thing though. All these teams are old money, so you can't expect them to have a new mindset. It's really difficult for them to kind of switch off of that when you have this thing generationally is ingrained into into how your team was built, and your grandpa and your grandpa's grandpa and your grandpa's grandpa's grandpa love football and how it was played and that grit and just doing that type of stuff and not really thinking of new innovative ways of build a roster. It doesn't take you 10 years, 6 years to build a roster.
It does
I
not.
mean, look at Buffalo. At first, it looked real shaky. Looked
Real
real
shit.
shaky at first, but they kept on.
They pivoted from Peterman. That
That's
first
it.
year, that jump was trash. And then the next year, they were like, nah, we getting a quarterback. Once they got Josh Allen,
They was over. That was it.
changed, dog.
That was it.
That Bama is unreal.
Joke is a
It's
beast.
that Bama juke like a black dude, dog. Some of the moves he make, I'm like, dog, how is this Bama doing this?
Right.
Then his arm, he got a rocket arm. My wife was like, dog, did the Bama sell his soul to the Illuminati or something? Because
He could
how is
throw
this
from any
Bama?
platform, dog.
Dog, this
Any
Bama be running to the right, throwing the jump back across his body on a line zip. You talk about arm strength and arm power. Dog, then he be
accuracy.
throwing accurate. I'm like, dog, how does Bama get so accurate? The Bama was wildly inaccurate his first season, dog. Like wildly. Like to the point where you just be like, dog, like, how do you work with this? This Bama throwing the ball, fitting the jump in tight pockets, throwing the jump deep,
Confident.
40 yards in the bucket, just
Yeah.
dropping it on his receiver. This Bama, Stephon Diggs is looking like he about to get
Best receiver
19
in the league.
touchdowns
Yeah.
for the year. Like, it's unreal.
Is he better than what's the name though? Aaron?
Who?
Jefferson. Yes.
Deshaun?
Nah, from the Vikings.
Jefferson.
Oh, he
Jefferson,
better
yeah.
than Jefferson,
Yeah.
though.
Jefferson.
Okay. Okay.
He better than Jefferson. Dog, because you can't really shut Stephon Diggs down.
You
I
can.
seen Jefferson
He
get shut
cooks
down.
the elite corners in the league.
Yeah.
Like whoever the best corners are, Diggs go get his work
Fine.
on it. Whoever it is.
And it's another element that Diggs has that I feel like Justin Jefferson don't have. And it's like, it's
Tyson
one of
factor.
them. It's the what?
The Mike Tyson factor. Bama's be
What's the Mike
shook
Tyson
What's
before.
that
factor?
mean, dog? What's that
Yeah,
mean?
what does that mean?
It's like the battle was half won because Bama's already scared and don't want to get embarrassed, don't want to get knocked out on TV. He come talking trash to
Yeah,
Bama's on the internet before the
dog.
game, in the tunnel.
Yeah, that's the thing. The first of all, his heart meter, that jump, like you talk about like him, maybe AJ Brown, their heart meters on 99.
And
Like
AB. Yeah.
AB, like yeah, AB heart level, like where I know I can cook anybody in the league, nobody can see me, stop me, and like they bring that level of confidence and it exudes not only from them, like to the entire team, and then the fact that he got a cooker QB, like it's an unstoppable force. It's unstoppable. And the same thing's going for Philly. You see, like,
AJ
Jay
Brown
Hurst is cooking and AJ Brown, though the Bama pointed at the defenders like, you can't check me. Dog.
and got tested the next day.
That's it.
I
That's all.
I Kirk, dog. I was in the house kirking. Like, I never see it's very few plays that you can see on TV that make you like jump up out of your seat. I ain't jumped up out of my seat since Randy Moss, dog. This past weekend, I jumped out of my seat twice. One with the DeAndre Hopkins one-handed left jump,
That
just
jump was
give me that.
nasty.
I was like, yee. And then AJ Brown mossing two Bamas, catching the jump, and then pointing at him. And he did it 3 times. I just, at some point, I mean, yeah, he a beast. He a beast. But yeah, I mean, if we had to do power rankings today, Bills is at the top. Then you got the Eagles, then KC, then everybody else.
Why is the
Uh,
Bills at the top? When these niggas got an L on the you just like the way it looked
yeah,
better?
I'm about to
I think
say, yeah.
it look better though.
Come on, man. You
It look
can't
better.
have Philly not at the top. They ain't lose the game this year.
They haven't lost the game, but I feel like
And they playing
me
better
personally,
teams, the better defense.
I don't necessarily well, maybe better defenses, but I feel like they've been tested a little bit. I feel like the Bills have been tested a little bit more.
Okay. I can
And
see that.
not that the Eagles have not been tested, but the Eagles ain't played KC. Like I'm talking about like teams that legitimately could probably beat them, right? Like they played teams where, for the most part, everybody was like Philly was the favorite. There wasn't a game where they came in and it was like they were like 1 point favorites or like it was close.
Yeah,
But
because who was
no,
this?
they played the Steelers played. I mean, the Bills played the Steelers. They played the Panthers. They played the Rams. They played the Titans, the Dolphins. These is not world beaters.
I'm not saying that they were beaters. I'm just saying if I had to like take
And
the
they lost to
schedules,
the Dolphins.
They did lose it, but Dolphins
That's
is
the big.
job
That's a
official, dog.
division joint. That's a division game, though. You everything's up in the air when it's a division game. It's not the same.
You just like the way it looked better, dog. It's just the aesthetic of it is better, dog.
I can see that.
All
But you gotta
right,
realize
man.
who in the NFC can even challenge the Eagles, though, really and
Oh
truly, when
no.
you think about it.
Oh no.
You think Tampa down for good? You think they're not gonna get it together?
Down and
I
out,
don't know,
bro. Down
dog.
and out.
They look bad. They
I
look
thought they would have
bad.
tried to make a move before the
I
deadline, but
thought
I
so
guess not.
too. They gonna
They
Should have
ride
traded
that
for
boat
Tom
with the
Brady.
holes in it and hope they can get to shore. I don't know. Uh, I didn't calculate the games from this past week. I still need to put it into the system. But we're gonna get the games for this week. I got the spreads here. Thursday night game is the Eagles versus the Texans. Eagles are favored minus. It's at 14 now.
dang. They moving that line, huh? They
Give me the
move.
Texans.
Give me the Eagles.
I'm gonna go with the Texans.
I'm looking for a massacre.
Okay. Then you got the Chargers at the Falcons. Falcons are favored three and a
No way.
half.
Give me the Chargers.
Yes,
Easy money.
I'm going with the Chargers as well. You got the Miami Dolphins at the
Hold on, hold on, hold on,
Chicago
hold on,
Bears.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Say that one more time. The Chargers.
Chargers at Falcons. They got to cross the country to play in Atlanta. Atlanta is underdogs at home 3.5 points.
Oh, Atlanta is underdogs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you said that different at first. You said that Atlanta was favored 3.5.
No. Chargers are
Okay.
favored.
Oh, okay.
Mm. Atlanta's been playing better than what I expected them to play.
They have, but they're gonna lose this one. I'm going
But
with
the
the Chargers.
Chargers been slumming too on the low. They ain't been the
They
same
That's
have,
time.
but
terrible
I
head
think a
coach.
bye. I think a bye does them good. I think they get back healthy. I think they
Hmm.
get Keenan Allen back. I think that I think they recognize that they need to win these games, and I think they come in motivated in this one to play. I mean, Atlanta for the most part is pretty much one dimensional. They're gonna run to the outside, run to the inside, and then try to get on this, get uh Mariota to the sides or outside the pocket and throw the two players. So
Right. I hear what you're saying. Ah, let me go ahead and get the Chargers, man. Every time I choose the Chargers, they disappoint me.
yes, me too. But I'm going with the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay with the
Dolphins at Bears. Bears are underdogs at home plus 5 points.
Dolphins. Give me the Dolphins, man.
I'm going with the Bears.
Bears are at home.
Yes,
Mm, they haven't looked as bad as the conversation goes, dog.
they haven't. Actually, I'm going, dog. I'm going. This one's tough because the Bears have nobody that can stop Tyreek Hill, dog. And this Bama looked unstoppable and essentially single-handedly won the Dolphins the game on his back.
I'm gonna go
Um,
Dolphins.
conventional wisdom is saying go Dolphins, but I don't. Something about this game just. I'm going Dolphins, dog. They
I
not
can't.
playing. They just got Chubb. Like unless the league just rigged this jump, it's a done deal.
Not
Dolphins
to
win.
mention, this is what's her name. He's starting to get back into his rhythm after that major concussion. So
Yeah, Tua looked good. He
yeah.
looked good.
So
Yeah, I'm going with the Dolphins. I don't know what I was thinking.
you just wanted to have a conversation.
Yeah, Panthers at Bengals. Bengals just got routed by the Browns. Bengals are favored minus 7.5 at home versus the
Uh,
Carolina Panthers.
I don't like that. That
Who?
Carolina Panthers be playing spirited football.
that's what I'm
But but
saying.
but but they should have won this game this past weekend and they lost it. And I think that was like, you ever seen a movie with a Batman hanging off the cliff and they like just hold on, and then the Batman just let go, and then that's it.
And
That was them. Like him was holding on. Is like as long as they held on And if they won that game, then they would have held on to the cliff and could have climbed back up. But because they let go, they
It's
done.
over with.
Yeah, Cincinnati going to
Yeah,
spank them.
let me get the Bengals.
All right, we're unanimous. Packers at Lions. Lions are underdogs at home versus the Green Bay Packers. I do not trust Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. They just don't have enough to win. Bottom line. Uh
And
I'm
the
starting
Lions.
to see the Aaron Rodgers that like the Jay Cutler Aaron Rodgers. He's starting to show. I'm going with Detroit.
What's the spread again?
Green Bay's favored 3.5. I think this is
Give me
I
Green
think
Bay.
this is okay.
Hmm. I think because
I
it's a
think this is a
division.
Vegas setup.
It's a divisional game, and I just feel like let me go ahead and get with the Packers. But
You going with the
I'm
Packers?
second guessing this though, and feeling like Detroit's gonna do something.
I'm going with Detroit.
Let me get Detroit, man, in this joint.
Okay, D's going with Detroit. I'm going with Detroit. Aaron's going with the Packers. Um, and that's our game. Okay, Colts at Patriots. Patriots are favorite -5.5. I'm guessing that this spread is just on an account of the Ellinger being the quarterback for the team.
I like what I
Them
saw.
losing to us.
Give me the
Uh
Colts.
Colts traded Naeem Hines. Who to the Bills, right? I think he went to the Bills. So which is interesting to me because maybe they just like Deion Jackson, and I think he could get a lot of touches because though, whatchamacallit just have not looked good. Jonathan Taylor
He
just has not
hasn't.
looked good, dog. I don't know if his ankles bother him or just the Bama, like he just looked pedestrian. Um, but 5.5 spread in New England. I'm going. Mac Jones looked suspect. I mean, if there was a couple plays that just went a different way, I think that the New England Patriots would have lost to the Jets.
Zappy.
Um, they need to go with Zappy. I mean, they just need to do that, make that move, and stop the games. But if they want to be stubborn, I think the Colts get this win. I'm going with the Colts to cover the 5.5. Aaron D.
I got Colts.
Okay.
Let me go with the Pats.
Okay. Bills at Jets. I think we're probably unanimous on this one. Bills are favorite -13. Is that too much?
Oh wow.
Give me the Jets.
Give me the Buffalo Bills. Final score 31-10.
Said that with. Let me go ahead and get the Bills, man.
Yeah, Bills cover that. Vikings at Commanders. Here we go.
It's gonna be
Vikings
a
are
love affair
favorite
for Northern Virginia.
three
Give
and
me
a
a
half.
Let me get the Vikings on that.
Washington. Keep the party going.
So this is the thing,
He
dog.
doing that reverse. I see you.
This is the thing. I'm gonna pick these Bamas and they're gonna lose. But I think that this is what I do know. The team is gonna be motivated to show up Kirk Cousins and their former coach here. They're gonna be motivated.
Who's
I'm
gonna throw
going with
more interceptions? Kirk or
Kirk
Heineke?
Cousins. It's a 1 o'clock game, so it's gonna be Heineke.
But you say motivated. Who's the former players though that was there when
Kirk
Kirk Cousins?
Cousins.
But I don't think anybody was here from the Kirk Cousins years.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Ron and ran everybody off and pulled Carolina up here.
But you know this,
That's what I'm saying.
you know when, but you know how it is, dog. The city, the media, they're gonna talk. They have a love affair with Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is the girlfriend that everybody think got away, but in reality, that girl had
He had
STD,
6.
and yeah, it's like, what is we talking about, dog? Like
She
she
was
was
in Glen
not
Burnie,
bad.
so Bama's thought
Yeah,
she was tough. But when you ride into the city, she a 5.5, 6 interceptions.
exactly. She a
She
bum joint.
a Glen Burnie 7.
A Glenberry 7, dog, would make up 7.5. You might buy her a drink, but I'm just saying, outside of that, no, sir. That's what Kirk Cousins is to everybody here. So they already gonna be slurping and be like, oh, Kirk Cousins, oh, and then I already know people gonna be in my ear because you know how I know because it's gotten quiet because they've been winning. So they can't wait to like poke me.
Hmm?
I need to watch it. If I needed them to win one game this year, this is it. Because I gotta
Harold,
shut up all these
no, no,
naysayers.
no, no. They're gonna get to the playoffs with a high seed, so it won't be no excuses. They only got one loss. They're gonna get to the playoffs. They probably gonna be what, 14-2. No, what? Oh, it's 17 games now. So they probably
Uh-huh.
like what, 15-2 or something crazy record, right? They ain't gonna win 15 games. So let's say 13-4, right?
13-4. Okay.
They get to the playoffs and lose in the first game they play. That's the Kirk Cousins we know. It's not gonna be any pressure anyway down the line because they already built up enough equity in that trash
You're
division
right.
where
You're
they won
right.
the division pretty much. That's sewn up. So there's no pressure
Yeah.
on Kirk. As long as
Right.
they don't put the game on too late, you know what I mean? It
Mhm.
good to go. As
Yeah.
soon as the
But but
playoffs
but
start, boom.
And there's
but
no
this is
green
a
bay.
this is a classic one Kurt will give up that he shouldn't.
Uh,
I don't think so. This team is trash though. The
I was
coaches are
that.
trash, and they just playing a bunch of incompetent teams. They played the Bears, they
Mhm.
played
You're right.
Green
The Green
Bay, who's
Bay.
flailing. They played the Colts without a quarterback.
Okay. Okay.
Football's still
I'm
football.
football still football. I'm going with the Commanders though in this one.
Okay.
All right. Raiders at Jaguars. Jaguars are favorite. I mean, I'm sorry. Raiders are favorite -1.5. I will never ever, as long as Josh McDaniels is the head coach of the Raiders football team, ever pick them.
Two horribly ran teams.
I don't care
That's
who they play.
disgusting.
I'm going with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and that's it.
These niggas
Mm.
done kicked my butt on a bunch of picks. I'm gonna take the Jaguars again. This gonna be my last hurrah.
Yeah, I'm picking the Jags as well. I don't.
They should have gave Leftwich that job, man. Them Ravens looking like trash down there.
Yeah, I'll take the
Seattle,
Jags.
Seattle. Oh, we're unanimous. Okay,
Yeah,
Seattle
unanimous.
Seahawks at the Cardinals. Cardinals are favorite -2.
Mm.
I'm going
Seahawks.
with Gino.
Gino,
Yeah, let me get
get my
the.
man his
Shout out my
flowers.
man. Shout out my man Shaq Daddy. Gino.
He don't believe it though. He not
He better
believing
than
it.
Russ, dog. Right
He
now, he's
better
better
than
than Russ.
Russ. He better than Russ. They fleeced the Broncos.
Was Russ a product of the system that was there
He
for him?
was.
See,
Yeah.
that's it right there.
We
And
talked
Russ
about
and
that when he was like his rookie year and stuff, like where he can't pass out the pocket, he can't see over the lineman, and then the coach is Hackett is an idiot, so he's trying to force a square peg in a round hole. You see how many passes get batted down with Russ trying to pass
Right,
from the pocket and go through progressions. That's just not his game. It's almost like they didn't watch any film. They just heard the name Russell and just say what you need.
that's
right.
exactly what they did. Are we unanimous?
Yeah.
All right. Rams at Bucks. Bucks are
Garbage
favored
bowl.
-3 at home versus the Rams. I can't trust the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'm not picking them until they show some type of life.
Rams trash too though. That's the
They
only
are.
thing.
I
Right.
I
Rams
mean,
can't draft. That's their problem. They got a team that's so light on depth, and they
yeah,
just
their defense look easy bake ovenish. I'm going with the Rams though, plus the 3.
yeah. Let me
Mike
get the.
Evans dropping touchdowns, wide open. I just they yeah.
And your boy Tom Brady be yelling at somebody after every
Every
play.
week.
Be kirking on jokers.
I mean, maybe the
He need to go yell
finalization
at
of
his
the
wife.
stop it. It's
Come
not
on,
his wife
man.
no
Chill.
more. They
Oh,
let
they
John
divorced
fine.
already? Oh,
Nah,
that was
they
they got the express train there.
Yeah, it's not a. I think. I thought right now they're just separated, but the divorce ain't
nah, they got
final
the
yet.
papers. I think the papers is being signed. I think the papers is signed, dog. Once
Okay.
you sign the papers,
Oh, when you got
Yes.
that's
that bread.
yeah, that's pretty much done deal, dog. It's just up to the lawyers then, and they can do it like closing on a house, 30 days, and then you back in the streets.
They're already in the streets. But
Yeah, you're
yeah.
right.
I know
Yeah.
she is. Milk don't age like wine. She better get to getting. She what 50? How old is she now?
40 something. She older than Brady, I think.
Yeah, she up there. You better get to getting.
Uh Titans at Chiefs. Chiefs are favored minus 12 and a half.
Sheesh.
Oh
Give
my
me the
That's
Titans.
goodness.
that's that's too that's too
The
much.
Falcons don't never cover.
I'm going with the Titans.
Same here. Just because of the 12.
Yeah, we're unanimous. Ravens at Saints. Saints just wash the Raiders, dog. Like wash these Bama 27-0, turn the game off. Now they're playing the Ravens. Ravens are favorite minus 2.5. I'm going with the Ravens,
Against who?
the Saints.
The same.
Oh yeah, give me the Ravens. This a lot.
Same here. Let me get the
This
Ravens as
going on the
well.
parlay.
Okay. And those are our games. That's the Monday night game. So the Ravens played last Thursday. So they've had a lot of time to just get refreshed.
Mm-hmm.
So then they made a trade, got Roquan Smith added to their defense. I think they hold the Saints. So those are our games. Follow us at OSS 980, Other Side of Sports. Please subscribe to our channel. If you like the content, share it. Shout out to Where's Buffy. Shout out to Lance J Radio, Kicking It with G-Man. Shout out to Ben and Knows Best. Shout out to Holly Cotton, Sports Talk Tasha, Jenna Garcia, everybody who rocks with us heavy. And we out.